Hey everybody.
Hey group.
Hey, what's up, Dino?
Ted.
Welcome to Little Monsters Movie Podcast, and we're going to talk tonight about The Lost Boys, 1987.
This month is the 28th anniversary. It came out July 31st,
Really?
1987. So yeah, this month it's kind of got a little birthday this
We
month.
we always hit right on with dates and stuff like that. Which
Yeah,
is
so you
kinda
guys
cool.
like this movie?
Oh,
a lot of people
heck
seem
yeah.
to like this movie.
Oh, this is great,
I
man.
didn't say I didn't like it. I just said a lot of people seem to like this movie.
Heck yeah, man. This is classic vampire.
Right.
And what is funny though, they do kind of get into the classic vampire like the mirror. You can't. It loses reflection in the mirror.
Garlic does not work.
Garlic does not work.
Stakes to the heart works.
Yeah. Holy water.
Gotta drink the blood. There's a few things that are different. For instance, you're not a full-fledged vampire until you've made your first human kill.
Right.
Prior to that point, you can be saved if the head vampire
is killed. Yeah.
Now, do you know anything about the history of this movie? What it was originally supposed to be?
Can you tell me about it?
And this is all, you can find this 100 places online. You could, I think even in the extras on the Blu-ray and stuff. This was originally supposed to be sort of like a Peter Pan kind of story. Kiefer Sutherland, he's the vampire character in the movie. His name is David.
Yes.
In the original script, he was a young boy, and he was named Peter.
Okay.
And it was actually going to be like a retelling of Peter Pan, but with vampires, because they never grow old, they never grow up. And
I can see the premise. Yeah.
Little bits of that are still. I mean, the title of the movie, The Lost Boys, and little telltale things are still in the movie to point at the little Peter Pan connection.
Huh.
But I think, for instance, the mother was going to be named Wendy. Like the dog is named Nanook, and in the Peter Pan book, the dog's name is Nana. So there's a little bit there.
Yeah.
But that was originally
I don't know why I didn't know that.
The whole gist of the story was originally, which I think had been kind of cool.
Yeah,
because I think actually back in the maybe early 2000s or late 90s, when I used to collect comics, I don't really collect comics anymore. But there was a comic
like the
series.
Frog Brothers do.
I know.
The comic store.
I don't have
and Lost
Batman number
Boys.
14.
Yeah.
But I think there was a comic book called The Lost, and I think it even kind of had that sort of premise there.
Really? Okay. Cool.
I think the story kind of got out there eventually. But that's like, you can find that anywhere. A lot of you might even know that. But that's kind of the gist of how the story started, and it just mutated into, adult vampires.
Yeah.
So,
which I'm glad it did. I mean, this classic 80s,
it's got a great opening.
Great opening
over the water.
Oh yeah, the music playing. I mean, I love the soundtrack to
Kralin system.
Yeah. Yeah, great. Oh, and thank God we left the fan on last week.
Sorry, guys.
Audio wasn't that great, so it should be a lot better this week.
Fan is off. We'll sit in the heat. We don't care.
Actually, it's an air cleaner.
It's an air cleaner.
So,
filthy air.
Yeah, so we're going to breathe in filthy air. We may lose consciousness during part of the broadcast.
We'll do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Just keep it going.
But oh well. But yeah, this movie
flying over the water onto the boardwalk.
Yeah,
which is this movie takes place in a fictional town,
Santa Carla,
but I believe it was actually filmed in Santa Cruz,
right,
where that famous boardwalk is.
Murder capital of the world.
Yeah, that's the premise in the movie.
Yeah, which they
a lot of gothy-looking kids in the neighborhood. But how it actually starts off is it's nighttime, flight over the water, and what we're going to come to find is that view of the camera flying over things, that's supposed to be like the vampires.
Right.
They have the ability to fly. Kind of cool.
Yeah. Even though I love this movie, and I really do, there's some... we always pick at certain parts of the movie. I mean, there are some things in this that are, like even the vampires, like how they show them flying like that. I mean, I know the whole vampire thing is you turn into a bat and then fly. I know some vampires,
which they never actually show in this film, but
right. But the way they show them flying is kind of, like they're just floating and stuff. And I mean, I don't know. I don't get that.
Well, I mean,
most vampires have the ability to leap, the power that they have to get them, from. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't know.
Well, we'll get into the whole because the film does keep some classic vampire elements, and it makes some of its own, a couple things of its own, unique to its universe. Yeah. And it starts off at the boardwalk, the amusement park at night, and we see And I gotta admit that the vampires, how they chose to do the makeup and the costumes, really kind of cool.
Yeah, they do.
The kind of I don't want to say Anne Rice thing because it's not really,
right.
But kind of like just that kind of heavy metal punk kind of look. And they're just kind of creeping around the amusement park.
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland's awesome in this movie.
This movie.
Yeah.
Whatever bad things you say about this movie, this is nowhere near like a favorite movie of mine. I actually we were talking. I hadn't seen it probably since high school, maybe. And I knew there was a couple of reasons why I didn't revisit it. We'll talk to him again. But actually, after I've watched it, I mean, it's a cool movie. It's immensely watchable. Kiefer Sutherland owns this movie.
Yeah.
Corey Haim was still coming into his own a little bit, that squeaky kind of voice, and
he does something in here that just bothers me so much. He goes,
and
like he does that like 5 or 6 times during the movie, and it just I don't know why it gets to my.
A lot of familiar faces.
Yeah. There's
I noticed
Corey,
Bill from Bill and Ted right away.
Corey Feldman,
who's always Corey Feldman. We've done
Haim.
a couple of Corey movies.
Yeah,
now.
we have the Birds. Yeah.
So.
Corey Feldman. Dianne Wiest is the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And
from Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, Jason Patric.
Mm-hmm. Who we all
And who else is in there?
The guy that plays the owner of the books, the video store. I know I've seen him places before.
Right.
And the young girl. I know we've seen her in other
Jami
movies.
Gertz is star,
Mm-hmm.
and there's the little Eddie Munster, little vampire boy, who's
Laddie.
and you'll find him on the milk carton.
Yep.
As they pull it out of the
Cool
refrigerator.
picture you put on the website, the milk carton.
Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Yeah, if you check our Facebook page out, I'm always putting links to the pictures and stuff from the movies. So there's a really cool one of the milk carton and all the people who. I mean, I think that's a cool part of the opening too, because they go to murder capital of the world, Santa Carla. And you see missing people posters everywhere.
But what happens before that, we should say, is that the security guard at the amusement park, he sees those guys and he just knows they're bad news and he kicks them out. And they leave, but then
because they were causing trouble with the one guy on the merry-go-round.
Right.
And his girl, and
the amusement park closes for the night. Security guard's walking back to his car, which is in the parking lot all by itself. And again, we see that kind of swooping motion with the camera, like from a point of view of the vampire coming down at him. And we don't really see his fate, but we know he gets. He just starts
running away, like, well, they
trying
do
to
show
open
him.
the door to a locked car. If I just keep juking the head,
and then they pull him away, and he pulls the car door with
right
him.
off.
And then he's that.
And then it goes into like the opening credits part, and that's where
the family
is. What's happening is the mom is recently divorced, and I guess she didn't
Poor
work out
lady.
too well in the divorce, and can't afford to live in Phoenix anymore.
She couldn't find a good lawyer. I heard from the director himself.
Maybe, I don't know.
No pro bono.
No pro bono. And so they go to live with her father, who lives in Santa Carla?
Santa Carla,
California.
Yeah. I do, and like I said, I love when they're crossing that, the freeway or stuff, and you see Santa Carla, welcome to Santa Carla, and
on the other side,
Jason Patric looks back, Michael, and he sees the murder capital of the world.
Right, and we're going to find, there's a lot of murders going on, a lot of more like missing people, missing children.
I mean, vampires, you'll have that. I mean, they got to feed.
So we get the little montage of driving through the city, the boardwalk again, a lot of punk rock, goth kind of kids.
Typical 80s, yeah. 120 minutes, if you remember that. Awesome show.
From
MTV, yeah.
MTV, yeah.
New wave punk group. Yeah,
I remember when MTV used to play music.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. They actually played music around the clock.
Yo MTV Raps. They played rap videos for like a half hour on Sunday.
Yes.
Yo MTV Raps.
Yo MTV Raps, but I loved the 120
But Headbangers Ball lasted for 2
Headbangers
hours
Ball,
at night.
Yeah. But I love when they the family actually does pull up, and who do they see on the porch? Is the vampire?
I'm sorry.
We're thinking of a scene ahead. But they pull up, and Dianne Wiest, who's the mother and the 2 kids, she sees her father on the porch,
laying on the ground, and it's kind of a cool house. It's kind of.
Oh, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Sort of crap laid
everything,
in the yard.
Yeah. And he stuffs animals. So
taxidermist. It's his hobby, taxidermist. I don't know if it's his job. But
which is funny because later on he keeps giving Corey Haim. I'm calling them by their actors' names. What's his name?
He plays a character named Sam.
Sam, okay. Sam in the movie.
And the older brother's name is Michael, so we'll use their character names.
Yeah,
now.
Sam and Michael. So he keeps giving them those stuffed animals next to his bed, and he's waking up and he's so it's kind of funny, but he's
laying on the porch,
like he's dead.
And they're not even all that panicked. They're like,
no,
is he dead?
Yeah,
they're carrying all their luggage, and is he dead?
Didn't she say something like he's taking some kind of nap or something?
Oh no, he's just a heavy sleeper.
He's a heavy sleeper
on the porch,
and
outside in the sun.
Yeah, she gets up there.
Don't know what that
drops
is.
something. She gets up there and she gets next to him and he goes he goes, I was playing dead.
Right. Big scare in the movie. So
trying to get his daughter to think
your girl will
dead,
grab your hand during that part.
Oh.
So they're kind of bringing their junk into the house, and the kids aren't real crazy about moving in here. At first, there's no TV.
Yeah. Sam's going, where's the TV?
Have you even seen a TV?
And meanwhile, they're
following. What happens if there's no TV? There's no MTV.
Exactly. Yeah. But I love how Sam and Michael are walking too back, and they keep pulling at each other's ears and tugging at each other, just picking on each other the whole way through. I'm like going, oh my god, is that annoying?
And then I like when they go into the kitchen. And they open the kitchen, and there's a section that just says, it's got like a little flap, and written on it says old fart. And he says, that's my, second shelf is mine.
It says old fart stuff.
Yeah. So that's where I keep my root beers, my double stuffed Oreo cookies. You stay out of there.
That's Grandpa's food.
Grandpa's food.
Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. That he's actually a trip in this movie.
Yeah. So, and he's got his little taxidermy room that they go in.
That's where they actually say, this is... Oh my god, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
My dad used to collect stuffed animals like that. I wonder if he saw his house. He had one, and he used to tell all the kids in the family that when they shot the squirrel, they found it like that.
Yeah.
It's sitting on the tree stump with its legs crossed, smoking a pipe. My dad bought something that looked like that. But we had foxes, bear rugs, pheasants.
Did he really?
We used to have this stuff when I was
He must have packed it all away before I seen that stuff.
Yeah, that stuff was long gone.
Or your mom said, enough of that.
But he did still have that squirrel. That was kind of...
That's cool.
Down in the basement
That's something you'd see in the show Oddities, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Just a little, you see it up in a corner or something like that. Oh well. And then where do we get? They all settle in and stuff.
Yeah, settling into the home.
They end up back at the boardwalk at night.
Yeah, they're
something to do.
Go out for a night, check it out, and this is the first scene where I realized why I hadn't watched this movie in 20 years. And whatever band is playing on the stage.
First of all, the guy, there's a band on the stage. He's got the saxophone going. He's playing his music.
It's not the saxophone.
No, I know. But he looks kind of like Danzig, too. But except he's got a ponytail.
Slicked, greased back hair, pulled back, chains all over. Looks like he took canola oil and rubbed it all over his body.
Oh,
wearing the tightest pants.
He Crisco'd it up, that's for sure.
And he's just getting into that song, and then he'll pull out that sax and play. Not my kind of stuff.
No, it was disturbing, to say the least, this month.
And the gyration.
But you know what? That's a scene that... those older ladies that go to strip club, or to strippers, they like the big muscular guys jiggling it around with the long hair and stuff like that. That's what they like. But it's very, it's gross to me.
I don't know what's more disturbing. The fact that they put that in the movie and no editor said,
that's gotta be gone! It's sick!
Yeah, come on, we don't need that.
There's a few things in
all right.
This.
Or the people that are in the crowd just, what?
Oh, and he's just booming, like he's into it, man, and this boardwalk, man.
And he's just strutting and shaking, and he's not losing any breath when he's singing.
Ted does not like this scene.
I could totally do without that.
No, if I would have them cut that part out.
Yeah, I'd rather.
I would have rather
had the vampires sucking my blood than have to watch that part.
With that gone, though, that's actually a big part of the movie. I know, as sick as that is to watch.
I mean, but all the bands in the room, they couldn't have picked something else.
Yeah, well,
they picked that.
They should have got in.
And there's guys with their hands on their shoulder. People are headbanging to this.
Not a headbanging song, no.
No, and it's the whole thing is just bad.
Oh my god, I agree with you.
So we see Star, and we don't know.
This is where Star runs up, and she's in her hippie clothes.
I just can't get it out of my mind, guys. It's just even yesterday, I'm watching it and going, it's a WTF moment.
No,
now I know. I know why I kept saying I didn't like this movie.
Yep.
Which isn't necessarily true, but it'll probably be another 20 years before I see it again.
Right. Hey, I put this in every now and then. I do like the Lost Boys.
He likes that part.
Yeah, not that part, but yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So we see Star. She's kind of meandering through the crowd, and
Michael
Michael
spots her.
They make eye contact, kind of like that moment.
Yeah.
You know, they're looking at each other, and he's like that.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Oh, he wants her, man. Yeah.
You know, he's got to know who this girl is.
Yeah. She's got Laddie with her,
and he's got his kid brother.
Yeah.
So you know he's going to be dragged.
I like how he's pulling him along through the crowd, and he goes,
right.
"I know you're after that girl for your
sex hormones.
Yeah, your sex hormones.
Your sex hormones.
That's what he says. That's awesome, man. There's a lot of cool lines in here.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Cool lines.
And
then we get to
the five vampire. There's a main group, you know.
Right. There's
Kiefer Sutherland
and
I think 5 of the vampire guys. Yeah.
Okay.
And the one with the super white blonde hair, and he's wearing the leather jacket. And this is another sick part of the movie that I get. Something about the 80s with the guys who wore cut-off shirts.
Yeah.
No guy should be wearing a cut-off shirt, man.
No.
So 80s or not. You know, that's like guys wearing Speedos. I mean,
right.
I
you guys
just
want to
don't
see
get
me
it.
wearing a cutoff shirt?
No, we don't want to see that.
No!
We don't want to see Speedos. We don't want to see cut-off shirts.
And I don't ever want to see that guy in that band again.
And that. So that's 3 things. And we're going to have a 4th we're going to come up a little later on that we don't want to see in the movie either.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of kid does this, but we'll get to that.
But anyways.
The video store. Because all the family, they're all kind of there, and the mom's looking around. She's actually looking for a job. Actually, even Michael asked when they first, like during the day,
it's like, are there any jobs?
What'd the guy say? Nothing legal.
Yeah, nothing legal. Yeah.
So he was looking for some work.
Yeah.
But yeah, the vampires, they're in the video store, and there's a dog in it. The owner, his name is Max, has a dog.
Yeah.
And that dog immediately, it senses.
Growling.
But
and they try to allude. They try not to let you know about Max.
Right, we don't know much about Max yet. There's going to be some suspicion about him going back and forth.
Yeah.
And also, this
Between
is a Warner Brothers movie, and I
and
like how every videotape you see, it's a Warner Brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I was looking every single movie.
And there's posters.
Lucky Man, Vacation. It's all Warner Brothers. Which, hey, that's their right.
In the vampires' cavern down under the ground, which we'll get to. Mm-hmm. There's a Monsters poster in the back too.
I don't know if that's Warner Brothers or
No,
not.
but there's cool.
Cool stuff. Jim Morrison, Monsters.
Jim Morrison, yeah.
So, so she kind of said, they strike up a conversation, Max and the mom, who I can't remember the name.
Yeah, he immediately is attracted to her.
Right.
I'm not sure what gets him to that direction.
He basically kind of offers her a job. And after talking for a moment,
I think because he's seen, which will come to play later in the movie. He sees how caring she is because
that's right.
She goes to the little boy who's lost out there. There's a lost boy out there.
A lost boy.
And
she brings him in the video store, asks if he's seen
anybody know his So
and the mom happens to just kind of like show up right there, and
so he connects to her as being a great parent or something,
right.
which will come to play towards the end of the movie.
Is what she is.
She kind of is, yeah. But
So then what? Sam, he's wandering around. He's gotten away from
Michael wanders into the comic book shop.
A giant comic book shop.
Oh my
by the way.
god!
It's probably one of the bigger ones I've ever seen. And
love it, man.
And this is where the Frog Brothers work, who we're going to meet. The Frog Brothers, Edgar and Alan Frog. Edgar, played by Corey Feldman, and forgive me, I can't remember your name, Alan Frog. I'm so sorry.
It's right.
They're kind of eyeing up the new kid a little bit. They don't recognize him,
and he's coming in too. I mean, the Frog Brothers are just like all commando with their and
Sam and all 3 Lost Boys movies has that red bandana wrapped around his head.
He's got the bright shirt from the '80s, like with something. Who else would wear that? Like Mannequin. What's the dude's name in Mannequin? You know what I'm talking about? Anyways, whatever. But it's very bright. He even wears a Born to Shop shirt later in the movie. I don't know what's going on with Corey Haim in this thing, man,
right.
but
so
whatever.
Yeah, so they start talking to him and getting to know him a little bit. He sees he's got some comic book info. I'm looking for a Batman number 14.
I'm looking for the third copy of it because he's got the fourth or something.
Yeah, he's like, only 5 copies known to exist.
I'm always looking out for the third or fourth or whatever. Yeah,
and he's telling them how to organize their Superman comics.
Yeah, so you don't put 95 in with 300s because this happened before this took place.
They don't even know about Red Kryptonite yet.
And they're going, what the heck? And that's when they give him the vampire comic,
Yeah,
they're like, read this.
You're new in town, read this.
Because I don't like horror comics.
Yeah, he insists, I don't like horror comics. Oh, and then I love in the background these, like, surf Nazis or whatever you call them. They just, like, grab a couple comics out of a box that they have right in front, run away, and...
Yeah.
It's like, I always kind of feel when you put something out there like that, that just means free. Free.
Yeah, you don't push all your stuff out towards the boardwalk.
Right.
Especially comics. Kids are going to grab.
Go by, grab a handful and go. You never know what you might get.
But anyways, I think...
Or like if you go to those used bookstores and they got like racks of books outside, free. If
you leave them out,
free. If nobody's out there.
There's not a price on this thing. Like the Stooges would always get brooms and act like they're working. Well, sweeping. They stole my brooms. They stole my brooms.
And so Michael, he keeps stalking after Star.
Yeah.
And, he's kind of like about to catch up to her a little bit and sees that, she's with these other dudes, the vampire dudes. And David kind of takes her, gets her on his motorcycle. And he sees Michael, gives him a little smile.
Yeah, I like how he stares at him.
And, we're going to find out that, he kind of had a plan for him. But David,
Yeah.
And then they're on their motorcycles and then take off. So it's like, man, I didn't get the digits. I didn't get that girl's number.
He'll see her again.
Yeah, they'll see her again. And then we get to, this is
the guys
that stole the comic books, I think?
Yeah, they did steal the comics, and it's also the couple that was on the merry-go-round that they started a fight at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, that's right. I didn't put that together at first.
Yeah.
You're right.
And she's reading he's trying to make out with her in the car.
And she's reading a comic book?
Isn't
that usually the other way around?
She's reading a sad sack comic while he's trying to make out with her. And she's going, come on, leave me alone,
This guy's going to have a sad sack in a minute.
Oh, yeah. Well, they just fly down.
Yeah, you never see him.
Tear off the roof of the car.
And
takes them.
You just see like the bodies get picked up out of the car, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
so again, like you never actually see them fly. It's just that cool kind of point of view thing. So that's kind of neat. I like how they did that. And like I said, I really love the opening scene of the movie, like what we saw before, up to where the security guard gets his. I think that's a really cool opening. Gets you into the story.
Yep.
You know, who are these guys? What's going on? And
oh yeah, I love the characters in the movie. I mean, they really do it well, and the storyline's good. I think. You know, other than the few things that we don't like about the movie.
That's just a product of the times.
Right.
Really.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
And there's plenty of movies that I love that I forgive those things for, but they don't have that guy gyrating playing the saxophone. I would be just as hard on those.
No, I mean, you don't put that much oil on somebody.
No, I mean, it's just like he just took a bottle of canola. And
I mean, I could see them cutting scenes and him just standing back and them shooting him with oil all over his...
You know, like...
Yeah, I mean, it's just...
Joel Schumacher, put a little bit more of that guy in. I mean, just cut him back in.
Make sure the light's hitting that oil just
That's right.
perfect there, but...
Let me see both of them together. Yeah, give me that guy with the oil on him. Someone had to make that decision.
Yeah, that wasn't a good decision.
It was a wrong decision.
I think a stagehand was working that day and said, hey, he'll really like this. I don't know. Anyways, I do like when they get back to the house too, and the grandpa shows them the old car.
He says we're gonna go to town.
Yeah, we're gonna go to town.
And he's got a cool old car. And he gets in there and he fires it up. You know, gotta let it warm up a little. And hey, Grandpa, can I drive on the way back? Hell no.
Well, no, I don't even think he took off. He didn't pull out a gun.
No, he never
said that's
goes.
as far as we go.
Yeah, he's like that's, and he gets out. He turns it off, gets out. And he's like, I thought we were going to town. That's as close to town as I get.
Hilarious.
So, he goes off on his own, I guess, to town, and he ends up back at the comic book store again, and they try to give him another comic book. The
first one says vampires, and this one just says how to destroy vampires.
Yeah, something like that.
So it lets you know how to destroy them.
The actual comic book label looked like it was Blackthorn. If anybody collected comics in the 80s, there was Blackthorn published.
Well, I saw a couple different ones, like Star. There was a couple of those, like, you know, out
that
of
was like a strictly
comics.
80s kind of title. They did a lot of 3D titles. I used to have like Star Wars 3D. They did like a 10-issue Star Wars 3D series and Gumby 3D and stuff like that. 3D. Yeah, they were awesome. They took like the stories from the from the TV
Right.
and just kind of like 3D-ified them.
Yeah.
And there was a rip-off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles called Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters, which actually was not bad. But so that was Blackthorn, I believe, publishing.
Blackthorn. Wow. Yeah, there were some great comics in the 80s. I don't know if you really get that anymore except online or whatever. But I like how the Frog Brothers put their number on here. If you ever need us, give us a call.
Yeah, because he says, you know, we're vampire hunters, and they never killed a vampire in their life. But they do, but they are smart in that they suspect something's going on.
They've done their homework.
Right.
Well, for the most part,
They're smart enough to know that something like this is going on.
Yeah.
They don't know who's doing it or what yet, but they're going to get a little in here pretty soon because Michael's at the boardwalk as well.
Yep. And he meets up with her.
And she's going to take a ride with him on his bike.
Yeah. They're going to go out and get some dinner or something like that.
Yeah, you want to go get something to eat.
And David comes up and pulls up. They're all on dirt bikes,
right.
okay? So that's a big, they're all on their dirt bikes.
Mm-hmm.
Or motorbikes, whatever you want to call them. And he goes, come on, Star.
Like he just says her name and she's just like, I got to go with him.
Yeah.
So gets right on there. And I got to Kiefer just looks really badass.
Oh, he does, man. He really does. The way he comes off in this is just great. And I love when he calls Michael. I mean, he's just taunting him throughout the movie.
Right. And what does he say? You want to go for a ride or something like that? And
yeah, because he's there and they're all on their motorbike. Right. And he goes, you want to...
I can't beat your bike.
Yeah, he tells him, I can't beat your bike, but
you don't
he goes...
have to beat me, you just have to keep up.
Yeah.
Because, they're going to initiate him in. Because what we're going to find is that at first, Michael was supposed to be Star's first kill. She's what we've said at the beginning of the podcast, a half vampire along with Laddie.
Yeah.
And
Laddie.
She was supposed to have her first kill with Michael.
Yeah.
But she's resisted, so they kind of, I don't know, maybe he kind of takes a little liking to him and, maybe let him in the club.
Yeah, even though he's taunting him kind of the whole way.
But we're going to find that this is all part of a bigger thing going on. Yeah. But as far as we're concerned right now, at this point in the movie, that's what we take it as. So, yeah, they start tearing ass down the beach on their dirt bikes, and no one's got any goggles on. I got to imagine everyone's getting sand in their...
Dirt.
Oh, my God.
I can't see so well.
I mean, there's Michael. He's just like this.
Yeah, I mean, sand's flying up. You got to know it.
And I'd be like, my contacts. God, no. Oh.
My allergies are killing me.
Maybe I got some saline.
Hold on a second, guys. I gotta go wash my eyes out.
Yeah, let me, salt water and dip them in the ocean.
Yeah. But you could tell they're slowing down and letting Michael pull ahead a little bit. And I think Michael does see, oh my God, what's going on? And there's a cliff, and if he were to go...
Yeah, they get up to a bluff, I guess.
Yeah, would have just went flying right off and died.
He skids to a stop, like right at the edge.
And he gets pissed, and he just goes after Dave.
Yeah, just gives him a good crack in the face. Yeah. And, Davey just shakes it off.
Oh, yeah, he's like, whatever.
Come on, I want to show you something.
You can't hurt me, man. But, yeah.
Then he takes the cave.
He said, "You want?" I don't know how he said it. He says, "You want? Follow us, Michael." Yeah. I mean, he's always. I actually like how when he talks to Michael, that just constantly taunting him. Come on, Michael. Takes him down to their cavern, which was from the earthquakes or something.
Yeah, it used to be a hotel, an old hotel, 100 years old or something like that, and there was a large earthquake, and it got swallowed down and
cracked open.
So it's.
Perfect for vampires.
A lot of this stuff is still there.
Yeah.
It's all in chaos and ruins. And
this is where you could see a lot of kind of cool stuff, too. Like you see the
monsters thing we're talking about, Big Jim Morrison.
Yeah, all in the background and stuff, so...
Yeah, this movie does use one of the Doors songs, People Are Strange, but it's, I think, Echo and the Bunnymen singing. They couldn't afford the real Doors song.
There's an Echo and the Bunnymen poster in Michael's room later on, which I like. But I love Echo.
The version is way better. And I remember, like, in junior high school, I was a big Doors fan, still am. And in junior high school, when I was in junior high school, it wasn't always cool to be, when I wore a Doors shirt, people were like, what's a Doors? Or I had one kid think it was Dio. And I'm like, that's not Dio, man, it's the Doors.
Ronnie James Dio.
And the way that I got people to check them out was like, because Lost Boys came out when I was in junior high school. I was like, Lost Boys, that song People Are Strange? Well, that's the Doors, man. Listen to the Doors. And now that, they're perfectly cool to listen to now. But when I was in junior high school, I was kind of the trendsetter when it came to that. You could wear a Zeppelin t-shirt, but Doors, man, people didn't get it.
That's kind of strange. I don't know.
People are strange when you're a stranger.
I was mostly alternative. one anyway. So Echo and the Bunnymen is up my league.
I say
but
the Doors
anyways.
are alternative, man. They're alternative to a lot of different crap.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
All the bands I like are alternative to other bands.
Exactly. Oh, what do they do then? They get back to the house and Sam
Yeah,
and
we
his
get another scene
mom
back in the
and
house.
Grandpa's there.
Sam's reading his vampire comic book in bed with Nanoku.
Oh,
I don't really like dogs. I'm allergic to dogs if I'm around them. But I gotta say, what is it, a Siberian Husky or something?
Yeah.
Those are such pretty dogs.
Oh, they are.
Those pretty blue eyes and such a cool dog. If I could have a dog, that's the kind of dog I'd want, but I can't have a dog.
Yeah.
But Grandpa. It's the first one. Grandpa brings in a stuffed, what is it, a beaver or something?
Stuffed beaver, yeah.
And
sets it right next to his bed facing him as he's reading the vampire,
And that's like a thing that happens throughout the movie. He's always giving him these animals, and I think there's one scene he always takes and puts them in the closet, and your closet's got a ton of these things in there.
And this is where we get another bad part of the movie. I don't understand this. And nothing against Rob Lowe, because I like him in plenty of movies, St. Elmo's Fire, stuff like that. I mean, but Corey Haim is a young boy.
Right.
Why in the heck does he have a Rob Lowe poster on his closet door? And not just an ordinary Rob Lowe poster. Rob Lowe's leaning back with his hand and
his shirt
got his shirt pulled up.
The
and
sexy
all
pose.
Yeah, all tanned and muscle shirt and pulled up.
He's got a poster for Reform School Girls. He's got Molly Ringwald, which I'm cool with.
And then Rob Lowe with his shirts pulled up is on the closet door. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on.
I'm going to do a poster. You're going to take a picture of me and put it on the website.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, heart out, Rob Lowe.
Anyways, and yeah.
Yeah, what the HE double hockey sticks?
I don't get what's going on with that. But it was kind of one of those other scenes that I'm just
another reason why I ain't watching this movie. I just
block that out.
It's not. It's just it don't make any sense. I'm not talking about
because he's got cool stuff around the rest of the room.
I'm not making fun of Corey Haim or
No, I mean,
just what is that doing there?
I don't know.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Don't know.
But I actually laughed out loud when I saw it. I just went, what?
Yeah.
I really did. So he takes the beaver, puts it in the closet, and he's getting a little freaked out reading these comic books. He doesn't like horror comics.
No.
And then we're back at the cavern again.
Yeah.
Where
this is where it's
dinner time.
Yeah, he gets Michael to drink what he thinks is wine.
Well, the rice. Remember, he gives him the rice first.
No,
Chinese food.
No, he gives him the wine.
No, they eat.
Oh no, he gives him. This is what I think makes him a little loopy. He gives him, I think, a joint.
Yeah, didn't he smoke something?
Something I think got him a little bit out of it. Yeah. To help with because he gives him Chinese food that they're all eating, a thing of rice, and he goes, "How's your maggots, Michael?"
Yeah.
And
you look down and
there's maggots all around. He throws it down and it's rice on the floor. And he goes,
maggots.
Yeah, I don't know, but then he gives him. He's got noodles and stuff. He goes, here. He goes, and he goes, those are worms. And he goes, no, it's not. It's noodles.
They're just noodles, Michael.
So he thinks it looks like worms again. So
Yeah.
Just
and
the
other vampires never really having a line. They're just
that's another thing I would throw. Yeah, they're lackeys in the back who keep giggling and laughing very badly.
Yeah. I don't think they ever have a line in the movie.
You got Kiefer Sutherland that's just awesome, and the 4 vampires that surround him, worst. I don't know why they're
surrounded by these guys all day. I'd kill.
I'd kill. Not good.
So that's when he tells Bill from Bill and Ted, Vampire Bill, to go and get the bottle. And he takes a little sip and
supposed to be wine.
He makes that face like it's like, oh, it's good.
Yeah, he's gotten a little bit of sip of the power.
Gives it to him, and what this is supposed to be is.
And Star tells him before he sips it too.
Don't do it. It's blood.
Don't do it. It's blood.
But, goes, Michael's not. But he's like, yeah, okay, maggots, worms. You got blood here.
Bad mistake.
Yup, because
that's what turns him
in.
in.
Blood, man.
Yep.
So, and as we said before, this just puts him in like a half vampire state.
Mm-hmm.
And they all start chanting his name.
Yeah.
Doing their little dance.
Like how Laddie's just roaming around the back.
Laddie, nothing.
Little boy just like his jacket. It's
kind
of a cool jacket.
Cool jacket. A lot of cool jackets in this movie.
Yeah. Then they take him. They take Michael to the train tracks.
Yeah, like a trestle. This guy,
once again, come on, Michael, follow us. He's going to initiate him.
Anybody with half a brain knows don't go nowhere with these guys.
No, and he keeps following them, and He goes to the train tracks, and they get to the bridge, and
everybody's like, "What's going on?" You know, Michael wants to know what's going on.
Michael, hey Michael.
Oh, those are their lines. In the movies.
It's so annoying.
And they go to the edge of the track, and it's all misty, and they all just kind of take turns and jump off, and not like jump, just like step off.
Yeah.
And it turns out they're like hanging, you know, by there. And, Michael, come on, join us. And
he gets down and joins them. I mean, I ain't getting down there.
I'd go steal one of their bikes and take off.
Yeah, I'm like, I wouldn't get down there, no matter how much I want to be part of the group.
But he does.
Pure pressure, man. Michael is very weak. Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. Had to work 12 hours today.
12-hour job, come and do this.
Hours. Yeah, I'd rather podcast for 12 hours than do what I do for 12 hours. But
I hear you.
As long as I had enough juice.
No. But,
so they all kind of let go.
Because the train starts coming over and it's shaking it and stuff, and
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they one by one they plop down, and
you never actually see like how far down it is or anything like that, because the way that scene kind of ends is Michael falling and just kind of lands in his bed.
Well, the train goes by, and once the noise clears away, he can hear them all laughing down there. So
right. So he knows they're okay.
Yeah, but he did still try to pull himself up, and he couldn't keep his grip, so he fell down.
And then he just is kind of in his bed. He falls through the clouds, mist, whatever that is.
Falls into the mattress.
And next thing you know, he's, kind of in his bed.
Yeah.
And then here's a part that kind of reminds me of Martin, in that the sun does not... They can go out in the daylight.
Well, the half vampires.
But, wearing the sunglasses and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of reminded me a little bit of Martin.
Yeah.
The podcast we did ages
because
ago.
Martin wasn't a real vampire, but
maybe he was.
He could have been. Yeah, exactly.
He could have been.
Who knows? Go back and watch our
Figure
podcast on Martin, and watch the movie.
Yeah. Watch the movie, then watch the podcast, and then review it and rate it.
Exactly. Oh yeah, please rate us. But anyways, on iTunes. Anyways,
So he wakes up in his bed. Sam comes in there. Hey man, wake up! It's 2 PM.
Sleeping the day away.
And Mom calls. She's working at the video store and wants to have dinner with Max, her boss.
Right.
He's asked her out to dinner. Wants to take her out to a restaurant. So she wants Michael to stay home with Sam and babysit him. And the kid's like, what, 14?
Yeah, he's like, Mom, no way, man. I'm old enough to take care of myself.
He doesn't need a babysitter.
And he goes,
So,
I don't know what's with that, but anyways.
Corey Haim, man. God bless.
Michael just wants to get the heck out of there and go find Star again, really.
Right, he tells, his mom, that's fine. I'll stick around. But he's got no... Well, he stays there till nightfall. Grandpa's going out. He's got to deliver some taxidermy, and he's hoping to get a little lucky himself.
Yeah, I forget the lady's name, but he's
the
widow, whatever,
Jababa, whatever, who knows. And so like what?
All the vampires.
He says, "I'm making you a sandwich," and Mike's like, "Right, no, I'm not hungry. It's starting. Yeah. It's starting." And we see we figure it's the vampires. all the motorcycle lights
coming in the windows and everything. You can hear that. Michael can hear them say, "Hey, come on, Michael, come on!"
He opens the front door and gone. Just wind down the driveway.
Yep.
Leaves blowing. Cool little shot there.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go out. He's going out.
Yeah. Oh my God, Ted.
Sorry, guys.
Get some sleep.
You wake up at 5:30 in the morning, and then probably what your favorite part of the movie is, when Corey Haim's taking his bubble bath.
What the? He gets out after and wears his Born to Shop shirt.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But he's taking his bubble bath and he's singing and...
Doesn't Michael also goes into the fridge.
Right.
Gets a half gallon of the carton milk. And tries to drink it and spits it up. But on it...
Stomach food.
On it says missing.
And it was
Laddie.
Yeah, it was Laddie.
The little boy is on there who's with Star throughout the whole movie.
And, the bloodlust is just starting to take hold of him real quick, and he's actually
creeps up to
where his brother's in the bathroom, and in a moment here he's about to go in there and feed on his brother. When he opens the door and the Nook is in there and instantly recognizes him as a vampire,
he can
and attacks him, protects Sam, and knocks his butt down the stairs, takes a chomp out of his hand.
Yep.
And Yeah, I think Sam was like under the water, like rinsing or something.
Yeah, he
dunked
didn't
his
see
head
the whole
under
thing.
And he had no idea that this happened until afterwards. He's hearing the noise and everything.
And he gets out,
gets
walks
his towel,
down.
and gets downstairs, and was it Michael? He's on the floor.
He's got his hands all bloody. He said that Nanook took a bite out of me.
Right, he's like, he was protecting you. That's why he said he was protecting you.
Yeah, and he goes, "What do you?" What? He was, Sam's freaking out too, hollering at him. "What do you do? What do you do, my that dog, man? What did you do,
Yeah,
my
what you do to my
dog?"
dog? And
it's
then
his
he
dog,
starts-
you know.
And he's starting to suspect, his brother's acting funny, and that's when he notices the mirror.
Yeah, he doesn't see his reflection in the mirror. He goes,
his mirror is fading.
Yeah.
So he's immediately freaked out, runs upstairs, locks himself in the door, locks himself in his room, locks the door, and he starts the Frog Brothers put their phone number on the comic book. He's going to call them up.
He's going to call them up. Well, doesn't he call his mom first?
He does. He does. You're right, because she's on that date. I
Yeah.
love how we remind each other, because I just watched it yesterday.
He calls his mom first. Yeah, he doesn't call the Frog Brothers yet.
Either way, he calls the Frog Brothers, and then he calls his mom, whichever way it worked out first. And I don't think she even really got to sit down at the restaurant. She gets called at the restaurant and ends up having to leave right away because he says there's something wrong with Michael, and he says all this.
I think he does call the Frog Brothers first,
right? But
and they give him. They tell him to kill him.
Yeah,
steak. You just got to stake him.
Do you got a wooden stake?
But that's my brother, man. That's my brother.
That's always their answer. Stake him. And I love how in the comic book shop the parents are these hippies. Anytime you see them, they're always just passed out next to the TV.
Yeah, the kids got control of the...
stoned out of their minds, just passed out.
They got control of the comic book, which is kind of cool. But yeah, the hippie kids, they're stoned and out of it, man.
And then Michael, in the meantime, he tried to get, Sam to open the door or whatever, but he goes back to his room, flops down on the bed.
And then he's all of a sudden starts floating.
Right, he starts developing
ceiling.
some of these vampiric powers.
Yeah. Which this is the one thing I don't understand either. But they put their own twist on it. I understand.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever.
I mean,
I don't know how he loses
in the original
gravity.
Dracula story, he could. Dracula would crawl up and down the side of the castle.
Right.
So that's sort of kind of gravity defying in a way, but not quite like this. He's basically in air.
Yeah, there's no gravity on the planet Earth.
Right. He gets to the window.
I can see actually pushing power to make yourself fly or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't get it. I don't know. That bothers me a little bit.
It's just,
but
the flight. I guess they can fly.
Right,
so maybe he's starting to be able to do that.
Yeah. And he makes his way to the window. I think he's holding on to something on the window. And that's when Sam sees Michael on the outside of his bedroom window.
Kind of gets sucked out of the window.
And that's when he freaks out and calls his mom at the restaurant.
Now he's calling his mom.
And he's freaked out. And he hears Michael in the
outside
back.
his window. Let me in!
And Michael's on the other end because he's holding on to the phone from his room. And he's going, "Nothing's wrong, Mom. Nothing's wrong."
Yeah.
He goes, "Hurry up. He's trying to kill me." And then she freaks out and takes off.
But it's a cool scene because they're both on the phone and Michael's floating outside of Sam's window there, and he's begging for him to let him in, which he eventually does.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to take care of this.
Touching moment. I cried a little bit.
You did? Wow.
No, I didn't. I really didn't.
So Max, he sees the mom, who I can't remember her name, go running out of the restaurant. They
takes off in the vehicle. And,
And I like when...
Their dates keep
Corey's like this. Corey,
back off, vampire. but Max and their mother never get together really because it keeps getting messed up.
Kids keep screwing it up.
Yeah.
Do they ever use crosses in this movie or anything? I don't think they ever do.
No.
Crucifixes. No. They use holy water.
Yeah. He holds his fingers up once and then I don't know if they hold something up in the big battle scene at the end or not.
I don't recall.
I'm not sure, but yeah.
So the mom comes home, confronts Sam, and he blames it all on reading a scary comic book.
Right. Acts like nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong.
Wuss. Yeah. So Michael, he takes off quietly.
Well, there's a scene right before...
Because Grandpa came home too.
Yeah.
And he kind of, steals off on his motorcycle quietly and goes back to the cavern looking for Star.
Yeah. Well, before that, they shoot to a scene with Max going back home. And that's where they show the dog growls a little bit, and Max says, "Is anybody there?" Because I think he sees the motorcycle lights too, don't he?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
So he's like, who's is anybody there or something? Which it still gets to me a little bit. I don't know what we'll say at the end, but I don't understand that. But
there's a couple of parts here that I just feel like don't quite click with what they're trying to do.
Yeah. But then they go back to the cavern. Michael goes back there, knows that he drank blood out of that thing, and goes to Star, and they end up
leads to another.
They end up making out in the bed, and
they do it.
They do it. That was like really cool. Come on, bud, Beavis. That was like so cool.
Do it.
But anyways, they don't show.
And it must be really good because you see all these clouds and she must be really amazing.
And they're playing the music. Don't I love that song.
Cry, little sister.
Yeah, it's an awesome song for the movie, man. Yeah, they keep replaying it at different parts and different scenes, but Jami Gertz in this. I know Ted said he's not a big fan of her, but
when we had Barbara Crampton last week, how can you compare?
I like Jami Gertz. I like her. She's also in Seinfeld. Remember the toilet paper? Don't spare a square.
Oh, the square. You know what?
Can you spare a square?
You know what's funny?
I'm sorry, I don't have a square to spare.
Before I came over here, I was having dinner and I was watching Seinfeld, and I could have swore I thought it was her, but it wasn't. Now I know the episode you're talking about. But
that was a great episode. And Elaine at the end comes and gets all the toilet paper rolls, and she tells her at the end, you can't spare a square. But that was funny. But anyways, Michael wakes up in the bed with her and sees that he's all healed. The bite mark from Nanook is
Wolverine
gone.
powers.
So, and he heads home, and Mom's sitting on the porch
waiting for him.
Yeah, she's probably thinking he's doing drugs or something. We get down to Santa Carla, and all of a sudden you're
start changing, wearing sunglasses.
Take your sunglasses, and he won't look at her in the eyes or nothing like that.
Right.
Which dead giveaway. You look your mom in the way. eyes at least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she just wants to talk to him, find out what's going on, try to be there for him, be that mom or whatever.
Yeah, which is nice.
But
I grew up.
She would not understand
wolves,
this.
so wolves drug me in the corner. It took me 10 years to talk.
Right.
Still
reverts once in a while.
Every now and then. If I get locked in a room, completely, and I can't get out, I start running around on all fours. You've caught me a couple times doing that.
It's scary, guys.
Hey, throw some meat into me and everything.
Yeah. Luckily, I usually keep a couple of milk bones on me.
Yeah, and they're not bad. If Ted would dip them in chocolate,
or honey mustard or something like that. It ain't so bad.
Every now and then it's okay to do. But anyways,
quite refreshing.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the mom ends up going back to Max's house because she felt bad that
Sam with her.
She takes Sam with her.
She had to bail out. She's got a bottle of hooch.
Right. Yeah, she's going to give him a bottle of hooch.
And Sam's still reading his comic book. I remember I think it was about like the Hounds of Hell because that fits with
the scene.
What was the dog's name? Thorn. Max's dog's name is Thorn.
Yeah.
And Thorn comes out, starts growling at her.
Yeah, she makes it about 30 feet, 40 feet down the walkway to the house.
A gated walkway.
Yeah, and the dog just starts chasing her down the.
Again, I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, because Max wants her. But the dog wants to kill her, basically. She's screaming and she
vaults over the gate. And the dog he's not just happy enough that she left. He starts chomping at the wood.
Yeah, she starts screaming again when she's on the other side because he's making his way through the wooded
it's like
gate.
Cujo.
Oh my God.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So, Sam's, he's pretty convinced that Max might be involved in this now.
Yeah, I think that's the plan he thinks. He thinks, because he goes back to the Frog Brothers and they say, something about should take out the leader.
Right.
And save the rest or the half vampires, whatever.
Half vampires.
Yeah, so I think that's their plan. So, what happens is the mom invites Max over for dinner.
So he's going to have the Frog Brothers come over with him, and they're going to kind of do a little reconnaissance.
Well, they just appear, which is kind of funny.
They're going to, check Max out, and that's what they said. We'll check out Max.
Yeah.
So
and he does show up, and Michael invites him in because you do got to invite the vampire.
We don't know that yet. But I do like what he says. It's actually very classy.
Well, I'm saying that because that's most vampire movies you do.
Guys, there's going to be spoilers, right? The movie's 28 friggin' years old.
Oh, yeah.
We just figured, if you ain't watched it yet, oh well.
I'm going to drink some water.
He actually brought something down to drink.
I had a baseball game earlier. My daughter's playing baseball, and she won next game's championship, so... But I've been screaming all day, so I do need some liquid. Ted needs liquid all the time. I was going to bring saline solution, but he's keeping under control today.
I just need an intravenous, continuous. But I do like what Max says there. He's like, he says to Michael, you're the man of the house. I'm not going to come in without your permission.
Right.
Little devious, but I mean, just like from an old-fashioned kind of sense. It's actually kind of classy.
Yeah.
So he says,
like
you're invited, and lets him come in and. Man, Max comes in and just helps himself to his mom, man. Gives her a big old smooch. Yeah. He's got flowers, and then they're saying, Mom, is it okay if I have some friends over?
Yeah, he just pops out of the corner with the Frog Brothers.
That
That is a good scene. I like that.
Yep. And she's like, sure. And they're having, I forgot what they're having, but it's Italian, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, and they're questioning him the whole time at the table. Testing him for vampire stuff.
Right.
What's the first thing he does?
Well, I know
I know he asked him for do you want some cheese?
Parmesan. He's like, do you want some Parmesan cheese?
He gives him a whole thing of cheese, but it's garlic.
It's raw garlic.
And you think you'd smell that.
Right.
But he pours it all over there. Oh, and takes a big old bite. And he's going, and he's coughing and stuff. And they think, oh my God, bullseye.
Because one of the things they tell him about vampires, one of the things that the Frog Brothers say is, real bad breath. And the mom is sitting there going, do you have... who's
Max
got the
looks
bad
like
breath?
Max looks around like,
and then it's the dog. The dog's right there, and she sits up.
Yeah, because they go, no, get away from me.
Get out of here, go upstairs. And then, when the garlic, he goes to give him a drink of water, when he's eating the garlic, he's like, does it burn? Are you on fire?
Because they're giving him every test, and they're thinking he's a vampire. He goes to give
him a drink, and was it holy water? I think, and they spill it on him. And
it doesn't burn. Does it burn?
Does it burn?
No, it's cold.
Freezing.
It's freezing. And then the funniest part is when they turn the lights out.
Yep, to see if he glows.
After that, their mom must be going insane.
He's not glowing.
Edgar Frog puts he's not glowing. And when they flick the lights back on, they got. Max got the mirror in front of his face.
Like one of those bathroom mirrors on the,
it's just stuck in front of his face. We can see his reflection. Right. Needless to say.
He passes the test.
Yeah, but I'll give it away, though. Well, should I?
No.
Okay. Yeah, well, anyways, he passes all the...
Dumb, though. It's number one thing I want to point out.
Okay, yeah. So he passes all the tests, so they're technically good, so they basically got to look for the vampire yet. And I think,
they go, that's not him. It's not him. Edgar and Allan don't know everything.
No. Yeah, they think they know it all, but they don't. But she's also sorry, and he says, we'll make it up. You can come to my house tomorrow.
Come to my house for dinner.
But yeah, so...
this is a real nice guy. If he's...
this
is her family?
Well, he says those boys really need some discipline or something in their life, because that's kind of what he's after. But yeah, he's...
It was me like, you know what? Let's just have a working relationship and we'll just keep it at that.
Right. Don't tell me what to do about my kids. Come on.
Right. So now we're going to get to where the vamps are really trying to get Michael to make his first kill.
Right, because now they're trying to initiate him as
Michael
part of the group.
Still doesn't know exactly what he is, exactly what they are yet.
I do love the scene though too. They all pull up on their bikes and they're at a beach. There's a big bonfire party going on with some...
The surf Nazis.
Surf Nazis, yeah. They're, I don't even know what song's playing, but something
They
like that.
are moshing and dancing around a bonfire to Aerosmith and Run DMC Walk This Way.
Yeah, Walk This Way. That's what... Surf Nazis are not going to be listening to that music.
I mean...
No. I know, I get that.
And that song was a year or two old when that movie came out.
Yeah.
It was probably really popular to have that in there.
Yeah, but Surf Nazis, punker guys, they're not going to be listening to this music. They're going to be
a
little more diehard.
There's another one against you.
Yeah. Anyways, but it's cool how they all jump in a tree.
Right.
Like, panthers up in a tree.
Skulking.
Watching
them.
Looking, their prey, and... Yeah, Michael's up there. They'd say, "Come on, Michael, join us.
Join us.
Yeah, join us, Michael."
And they all kind of, dive out there. Most of the stuff happens off screen.
And this, I'd really love to, during this whole podcast, I'd love to be playing the 24 music every time we talk about David. Doom, doom, doom. I'd be, but I can't do that because, it's copyrighted. But anyways. Anyway, so
they all kind of expose themselves with their fangs.
This is where you see the makeup kind of pop out. Yeah,
and they go and feed and have a good time, and when they come back, they tell Michael, "Now you know what we are." And
they wanted Michael to come and join, but
he's resisted.
He resisted. Yeah,
sure, and as I'm sure many of them do.
Right. Yeah.
That's all. That,
some willpower.
That's all that Anne Rice kind of, Barnabas Collins kind of feeding off rats and things like that.
Right. You still got that sympathy
or
and
Angel
sympathetic
from
side of
Buffy
you.
the Vampire Slayer, same thing.
But we should do a podcast about that because Ted loves Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I do.
I mean, we could do the movie and throw in part of the
except I don't really
series and stuff.
I have the movie, but I never if it wasn't for the show, I watched the show before I watched the movie.
Love Pee Wee Herman in that movie.
Yeah, he's got a great death scene, but
anyways,
just thank God for the show.
Yeah. So what happens? They're back at the house. After that,
Michael shows up. This is where Corey Haim's wearing his Born to Shop T-shirt, and
my gosh, they Star and
because now he realizes, Star. She just kind of like pops up in the window, like she flew there.
Well, she showed up with Laddie, and she basically wants them to
help her,
like keep us safe here. And
this is where I think she tells him that he was supposed to be her first kill, but she's kind of hoping that he will help her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sam, he's hiding all under the blankets. This will protect
Get him out of here, man! They're gonna kill me. They're vampires. I love how Corey Haim just starts screaming that stuff, man.
Right.
But she's so beautiful. I think Jami Gertz, she's so beautiful sitting in that doorway. The wind blowing her hair and
her face.
I don't know.
Whatever. She's good in the movie, but
no,
she's call it
good
like
too.
I see it. I just call it like I see it. I'm not.
He likes some bosomy nude thrown on a surgical table.
Preferably, if I can get it.
I'm joking. But anyways, but what does he kind of did? Is that a word, bosomy?
It is now.
bosom buddies. But anyways, he kind of disses her and tells her, just get out of here. He's pissed because she knows what he is and what he was going to come. Yeah, and she could have said, she basically said, sorry I met you there and we got in so
she tried to tell him.
Yeah, she did, but she ends up flying out of the room and stuff, and she's gone. All the wind's blowing like a million miles an hour. Every time vampires disappear.
So Michael's kind of refused to make a kill.
Yeah.
Star is now kind of against David and
I think
the vamps.
Yeah, and I think they know that maybe David's the head vampire now.
Well, now that they're kind of with Michael again,
because
that's where he's leading them.
Yeah.
Well,
the Frog Brothers come in with Sam. Sam gets a hold of them, and they all get the plan together to go kill
during the day.
Yeah,
they're
David.
Gonna go to because Michael knows where they are, where they sleep.
Right.
The place is just one big tomb, and they're gonna go in there and kill him. Yep. Kill the head vampire.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And that's all I have to say about that. So Grandpa's putting some posts in, building a fence, and the kids just steal his car. And, Grandpa, we're borrowing your car.
Make sure you fill it up with gas.
Right. So Michael's okay taking the Frog Brothers in there with him, but he tells his brothers stay out with the car, and you don't need to go in there.
But he follows them in anyways, and
I do like when they do get into the cavern how like bats all they're hanging upside down and they
all the people.
The vampires, and they're got these claw-like feet.
Michael actually goes to get Star and Laddie.
Right, that's what he's doing, and then the Frog Brothers are going to
go stab. Stab.
Going
to stake.
Get rid of them. Yeah. They don't know which one David is.
Yeah,
they don't know. You think Michael could have told them?
This is kind of an annoying scene too. They make their way up there basically.
Right, so they all get through Excuse me. I'm so sorry, guys. I worked all day.
Is this podcast that boring for you?
No. So yeah, they go into like the cavern that we've all seen, and Star's there, asleep, and because
carries her off into the covers her face up and stuff like that.
And the Frog Brothers, in the meantime, are making their way to where the vamps sleep. There's like a little tunnel kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Sam's there too. He decided not to stay at the car like his brother told him. So they all crawl their way through there. And that's where, like I said, where we see them kind of hanging upside down. David and Bill and
all the vampires, they're
Paul, Richie, whatever their names.
Yeah,
are.
they're
Dwayne.
hanging from the beams, and the Frog Brothers go and get ready to stake one of them. They don't know who it is. So let's take care of him. This little one first, the guy closest to or whatever, and it's not David. I mean, it was Bill.
And
they didn't know.
It was Bill from Bill and Ted.
Bill, yeah. And they stake them, and slimy stuff just flies all over their whole bodies everywhere.
Yeah, they kind of explode, disintegrate, kind of thing. That's how it works in this film.
Yeah.
Like every vampire series kind of has their own way.
Right.
In Buffy they dusted.
Yeah,
dusted. They turn into dust.
Yeah.
And, other times, they just die. Or they'll just kind of like decay.
Yeah.
Like in the Hammer movies, they would usually decay or something like that. Or sometimes they'll revert back to what they were before they became a vampire. So,
right. Yeah.
They might have been old and ugly, and when they're at rest, they look young again, or at peace.
Which I'll bring up a little later too with David. Mm-hmm. That don't happen.
Exactly.
But anyways,
there's a reason for that.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
There's going to be a reason for that.
So, so that they do get up and
so while they're doing that,
they all wake up once they stake them.
Right. Once one wakes up, they all and they.
He goes, "You're dead meat, man."
Yeah, that's what I remember. It's like, "You're dead meat."
And don't ask me how they end up getting
they get out of there.
Get away with it. Yeah, I mean, David's even pulling at Sam's feet as they're getting ready to.
I thought vampires were strong.
Out. Yeah, I mean, he can't pull them out. The Frog Brothers are pulling one way, tug of war between David and the two Frog Brothers. Who should win? But they do pull them out enough to where the sunlight hits David's hand.
That's the only
and
thing
burns.
I'm giving them is that maybe because it's daylight, they can't. They're weaker.
Could be, yeah.
Because that's one thing we know. They are weaker. I mean, David does try to catch him, and when he gets out there, he can't get too close. Right.
And in his face, he's got a tear coming down. It's not blood. It's just a regular tear.
He's sad. It hurt.
Yeah. So I think evidently these vampires can eat food too.
That's how it wasn't. Even in Buffy, they could eat food. They didn't have to, but they could.
They could, yeah.
Yeah.
They probably just go number.
Just
to later on, yeah.
I don't even think they did that. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
They never showed Angel pooping.
But anyways, they jump back in the old vehicle
Michael's
to get back home.
Star and Laddie.
Yeah.
And Sam's going to drive the car. He almost drives him off a friggin' cliff. And they get back to the house, and they know that David and the gang are coming after him.
Yeah.
So
they put Star and Laddie in a room, and
and they've got to get ready. Basically, they got to get ready. They stuff's going down.
Oh yeah, and this is so funny when they're getting everything together, like the stakes and all that.
Yes.
I love when they run in with their little canteens
in
the church.
There's a baptism going on,
and they all jump. They stop. Everybody stops, and then they run and they start filling up the holy water.
Anything.
Good thing that holy waters are those things that are usually really small, but man, they're able to get 2 canteens in there.
Oh yeah,
and fill those babies up with water.
Santa Carla, man, they know.
They're getting garlic, and I think even Sam's trying to. He does go back to
mashing it.
He goes back to the store where his mom's working. He's trying to convince her too that Max is not. But that stuff's going on. It's filled with vampires, Santa Carla, and stuff, and.
She don't. Get out of here!
Yeah, of course. You're in trouble, mister, when I get you later on.
Grandpa leaves.
Yeah, so they start getting the house set.
They got no choice. They got to barricade the windows. They got to barricade the doors.
Yes. And,
because they only had a couple hours to prepare before the sun goes down.
And the sun's going down, and you hear that song again. Don't
cry, little sister.
Oh my gosh, Ted, you're killing me.
I think I'm doing that pretty good. So, Max is having dinner. with the mom.
Yeah.
Boys are getting the place fortified.
Yes.
Getting their supplies together, setting their booby traps.
Yeah. They fill up the bathtub with all the holy water, and they still throw all the garlic in there.
Right.
You know?
Right. Just double trouble, double whammy.
Even though I think doesn't the vampire say that garlic doesn't work?
Well, that's what's going to end up. Yeah, that's what's going to end up happening. So,
but anyways, yeah,
they got Nanook outside.
Yeah, they put him out there.
Why? Why they?
I think so. He didn't get after Michael again.
Yeah, but then they end up having to bring the stupid dog in.
Yeah.
When the battle starts getting ready.
Right.
So.
And they're making spears. And
the Frog Brothers tell them you got to get him in the heart.
Letting them all know.
Right. So I mean, it's going down.
And they start flying in from above, and they have to run out and get in a nook, and they do get him in just in time.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. You put the dog outside, but then you're just going to go out there and get him anyway. And
they're all flying the house, so the vampires do end up...
And then, like Star, Corey Feldman, he's about to go stake her.
Oh, yeah, he's like, because he's chasing them around. Get them all. Yeah.
And that's when one of the vamps is in the house.
Yeah.
Evidently, he didn't have to be invited in. But...
he looked like one of the VJs from
he
MTV.
Looked like... Yeah, what was that guy with the long, permy hair?
Blonde, permy hair, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, yeah.
I just remember Kurt Loder.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
they, what do? They actually...
Yeah, they take some garlic and throw it.
Well, he's in the bathroom, and he sees the tub is filled. And he goes, garlic doesn't work.
What about holy water?
And he splashes it in his face, and it burns his face.
And then Nanook, the dog, is in the house, and she pounces on him, and that
goes into
this
the
is a cool
tub.
scene.
Yeah.
In the tub, and he's just disintegrating and melting. And,
yeah.
I mean, towards the end, I think it's just like a skull that comes, skeleton.
Yeah, it burns him like acid all the way down to the bone and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a cool scene. I do like that.
Yeah.
And he just kind of dissolves in the holy water.
But I don't understand what happens next when everything just...
all the stuff starts coming out of the sinks?
Yeah, blood.
No idea.
Blood just starts coming out of all the water out, sinks, toilet... Anything the water from the tub area was in. So
yeah,
I don't know what was going on there.
Why do you like this movie so much? There's so many plot holes. And so many
probably because I grew
parts.
up with it. I mean, it's a good movie, but we are dissecting it.
Yeah.
And we're bringing up the stupid things that happen in the movie.
Movies that I picked, there's nothing to...
whatever.
There are no plot holes in Reanimator.
Well,
but this is just one of them things that, in the movie here.
Hey, it's action-packed at least. You got to give it that.
The movie went through a few writers and things like that. Things are going to happen. The more people that put their hands in the pie.
Fingers in the pot, yeah.
Yeah. So, the battle's still going on. There's another vampire in there, grabs Sam and kind of like flies up into the house with him, I remember.
Yeah.
And he takes the kids have squirt guns.
Squirt guns filled with holy water.
Squirt guns and water balloons, which, like From Dusk Till Dawn kind of stole that later on. Except instead of balloons, I think they used condoms. And
oh my god!
Yeah, so he's squirting with a squirt gun, burns his face a little, and then when he lands, he takes the bow and arrow and shoots him. It's a classic scene.
Oh,
because one of the guys jumps up and says, "What you missed, sucker?"
Yeah. Then he gets him again, and this time he didn't miss.
Gets him in. What about this time? And gets. I mean, he actually has enough time to do it.
Oh, and
he shoots him right into the stereo.
A lot of power in that bow and arrow that he got because it's his body just went flying back into the wall.
Yeah, he's blowing up and he's screwing up the stereo. All the records are melting.
Oh man!
And the cassette deck is fried. It's just the hi-fi is gone.
Yep. And then the battle scene between Michael and David.
David are going to have at it, and it's a pretty good fight. Yeah. Because
they fly in.
This is kind of like I remember in the Anne Rice books, where the vampires could move faster.
Right.
Because that's what's happening. David's getting hit, and you're not even seeing him getting hit.
Meanwhile, I'm a big Anne Rice, the Vampire Lestat, the Vampire Chronicles.
I still haven't read all those books. I got to.
Best vampire stories out there, I think. I mean, but my generation, so who knows?
Mm-hmm. Now I remember Laddie. He starts turning. Did he make a kill?
No, but he did start turning. I think maybe just the other vampires being there brought it out in him.
Okay.
Because, I mean, that's all I can think of.
Yeah, because he just, bursts through.
Yeah, he freaked out.
And he's going after
turning.
Sam and
Star
the
didn't.
brothers.
But Michael did too. Michael kind of, his face contorted, and he started.
But he never had fangs.
The powers and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, Star didn't. I mean, I guess she was able to keep her calm enough. So I don't know. But
yeah. So they're gonna get at him, but Star pops out of the closet there and kind of protects him in the corner. It's my brother. Don't.
Yep. Meanwhile, they're
so
fighting.
she's gonna kind of control him, I guess.
Yeah. And they're flying up. Mm-hmm. And basically trying to push him into all the
Michael
deer
and David,
horns.
Yeah, Michael and David
antlers.
And pushes him through the door, through Grandpa's taxidermy room and into the like you said, antlers or something.
But he misses and he goes, "It's your turn, Michael," and he pushes him all the way back. Mm-hmm. But he holds on to the beam so he doesn't get it. And then somehow he turns him around.
Right.
And pushes him into it.
Yep.
And
but Kiefer Sutherland's character never disintegrates, burns up, or anything.
No, he just kind of turns.
And from what I understand, is they wanted to make a sequel to this movie called Lost Girls, and so David was going to escape. Now there was a comic book series. I don't have it. I didn't read it, but I think David was in it. So he did survive this.
Okay.
But so actually, I was mistaken if I remember, because now Michael's starting to get the fangs and the eyes, after this is done, it's kind of had enough. And
because Max shows up. Max
and Mom, and this is where right at the end we get the little reveal that Max is the head vampire, and he reveals all his plans. That he wanted the mother. He was going to turn her.
Because she can help be the mother figure, kind of to the kids.
My boys need discipline.
Yes, her boys need discipline.
My boys need a mother.
Yes.
And, we were all just going to be one happy family. Yeah. And he explains that, when you invite a vampire into your home, it renders you helpless. That's why...
The garlic didn't bother him, or the mirror.
But how did all the other vampires get in the house?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. And
another flaw.
Still don't understand, why did his dog not growl at him?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why Max was. They all drove up with their motorcycles at his house, and he's acting like, who's there?
Right.
Who's there? What's going? So there was a couple parts I didn't understand. If he's the head vampire, you tell them, you don't come around my house, you don't do this.
Right.
I'll come and get you.
Yeah, I need you. I'll come get you.
Nice leader.
Why is my dog not growling at me?
And I don't like
he's growling at the lady.
And when he shows himself like vampire.
Yeah.
It doesn't look too good. I don't know. But maybe it's just him. I don't know. But
yeah, so he's revealing all his plans here. Ha ha ha! My big plan, and who comes to save the day? Grandpa.
The horn blowing.
He's got that horn.
And plows through the house.
And he's still got some of those
big
posts from which were spiked at the tips.
And pointed,
and gets Max right in there and dusts him in the fireplace. And then Grandpa gets the best line out of the end of the movie. It's something like, the only thing I hate about this place
is all the darn vampires.
So he knew about them all the time.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a cool movie. It's a classic '80s horror movie.
Yeah, I love the actors. Kiefer Sutherland's great.
He owns in this movie.
The soundtrack's awesome, which the song
Good
which
music.
They play throughout.
Little sister.
Throughout the.
I'm gonna listen to that on my way home.
Throughout the movie, So it's one of those classics that I just love. I pop it all the time because. Yeah, takes me back to my teenage years. So.
Ever since you've always, loved this movie as far as
I love vampires. So I mean,
so do I.
But I mean, after going over the movie, I mean, there is a lot of plot holes, a lot of things that you just don't.
Right.
You're like, oh my god.
Don't let that take away from the fun of it.
No,
Enjoy the movie.
No, there's plenty of fans out there who, I mean, like you said, if you like a movie, you're going to look past those things, and even this.
And there's plenty of movies I like. So.
Oh yeah.
But, I mean, they made 2 sequels to this movie, which this guy didn't even know about.
Well, after you told me, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. Because Corey Feldman did play in them. Yeah. At least he played in the third one, or did he all 3?
Both of them.
Okay, so Corey Feldman played them
he
both.
He reprised his character.
But I've never seen both of the second sequels. I mean,
Lost Boys: The Tribe is actually pretty. It has pretty decent reviews.
Okay.
It was both of them, Lost Boys: The Tribe and Lost Boys: The Thirst, were both like direct to DVD, direct to video movies.
Right. This was right when Blockbusters was failing.
Yeah,
so
so
there's a lot of direct.
there. So, but the Tribe is pretty highly regarded. It's got Kiefer Sutherland's, I think, half brother.
Okay.
In real life, isn't it? I forgot his name.
Really?
It plays the vampire in this movie.
Does he look like him?
Yeah, they resemble each other. They're not from the same.
Yeah.
The 100% same family.
Ilk. Well, you're from the same ilk.
But we find that Edgar's brother Alan. We don't know what happened, but he was vamped.
Okay.
During one of their battles. I don't remember all the details, but the one memorable thing at the very end is like in a credit sequence when the credits are going. Corey Haim comes back reprising Sam, and he confronts Edgar, but he's a vampire. Somewhere along the line, he must have gotten bit, and it shows those two coming at each other.
Really?
Yes. It's just a brief moment there, and then I know in The Thirst, that's kind of it starts off where it's Edgar and Alan, and they stop a vampire attack on I think like a state senator or something like that. Okay. And in the battle, that's how Alan got bit. And but he lives in that movie he lives as a half vampire, living off rats and animals and things like that. And it's about a vampire who's there's like a big rave, and there's this thing they're giving out to all the kids called thirst.
Rave.
But it's blood, like they're drinking blood and
turn a bunch of vampires real fast.
Right.
Good way
to build an army up.
Good way to build an army up. Yeah.
And through the course of that movie, Edgar Frog ends up being able to save his brother.
Cool.
But they get all kinds of cool weapons from this senator. He provides them with weapons like stuff from like Area 51 and crap like that. So high tech vampire weapons.
Cool.
So that's kind of the sequels.
I might have to give him a check. I mean,
and then unfortunately, Corey Haim kind of declined, and I think
passed away.
2010 was it 2010? I think where he passed
away
a
few years ago. Yeah.
History of drug use, and ended up dying of pulmonary edema, pneumonia, fluid in the lungs, probably from alcohol, drug use, and things like that. 38 years old, gone. So.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh, well.
So that's Lost Boys, and a little bit on the sequels, which definitely aren't as good as this one, but there's some cool stuff in there, especially if you're a fan. Like I know I think in The Thirst, Edgar goes to Sam's grave and lays down a copy of Batman number 14. And so, I mean, if you've watched them all, there's little tidbits that you would appreciate as a fan.
Yeah,
so,
you have to check those out.
Yeah, they're not horrible. It's just, they are.
Cool.
And, it's like 20 years later though. I mean, it was almost it's like 20 years later when they made a sequel. So they tried a couple times. I mean, all throughout the 80s and 90s, you always heard there's going to be a sequel to Lost Boys, and
never got it together.
Never happened.
It was a big movie, so I mean, at the time.
So this is like a little anniversary for Lost Boys. Birthday at the end of the month. Happy birthday.
Yep.
And I think that takes us to the end. We got any
cool.
business, any bills to pay, or
no? Just keep liking our Facebook page, our main website. The thelittlemonstersmoviepodcast.com.
Yeah, you redid it a little bit
too. It's a long name. It looks good. Yeah, a lot of stuff on there, man. Nothing.
More to come when we have time.
Like to have you guys, give us good ratings and stuff on iTunes. That's a big thing. But I should start that at the beginning of the podcast. But hopefully you sit through and listen to it all. Mm-hmm. But give us some ratings, 5 stars, whatever, So, but until next week, man. I'm not sure what we'll do. We'll figure it out. Okay. We'll let you know. Keep you updated, and hope you guys like the podcast, man.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool.
Peace.
Peter Group.